Klopp's teams would run through walls to get the wins. Slot's team, they're calculating angles. They're looking at the density of the brick, judging the risk. They're doing health and safety assessments. Tottenham went down to 9 men, and I still felt nervous. Whilst Liverpool got the 3 points, this win exposed something ugly about Liverpool's mentality. We're going to dig into that in this video. And you may not agree with me. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, but I'm going to share my opinion, even if it's not popular. So in the first half, Xavi Simons gets red carded, straight red after the VAR review for racking his studs against the back of Van Dijk's Achilles. Yeah, painful. Yes, dangerous. It's just clumsy footwork, really. But he gets sent off. But now Tottenham are down to 10 men. And Liverpool really should be dominating this match. You would expect 99 times out of 100 for it to be complete domination, complete suffocation at this point on. Because one man down is a lot in football. It is a lot. It changes your whole formation. It changes all your tactics. It means that a team with less players is going to be much more exhausted because they're running around having to make up for that extra man. And a team that has the extra player can now just do little triangle passes around people because you're always going to have one extra player in every position on the field if you deal with it smartly, right? And they should have done that. Instead of suffocating Tottenham, we started to sit back a little bit and we continued the tendency of a lot of sideways passing, a lot of hesitation, a lot of slow build-up. I don't understand it. We have players with immense talent, immense skill. We've got pace. Think of Ekitike, how fast he is when he's played through. But instead of using those tools properly, we always just want too much time to think about it. We're going to talk about why that is. I have a theory. But listen, when you are one man up against 10 players, that's not game management. That's anxiety. What would Klopp's Liverpool have done in that situation? They would have smelled blood. They would have been pressing like madmen right outside the opponent's box. They would have been pinning Tottenham into the penalty area, constantly pressing them, harassing them, peppering with shots, players running through all sorts of different lanes in order to get onto through balls. You know that's what would happen. Instead, we get countered. Bergvall is rushing down the right-hand side. Thankfully, Bradley got there. All I could think was, thank goodness it's Bradley rather than Kirkes being the last man having to deal with Bergvall, because I'm not sure he would have done it. But Bradley dealt with it very good. But on the left, Spence was causing a lot of problems too, especially when he was played through on the left and it left Connor Bradley and Curtis Jones, the only people. I don't know where Konate was at that moment, but you got Jones and Bradley. And as Spence tries to cut inside as they're coming together, takes Bradley out. Bradley now's got a bit of an injury. So in the second half, Bradley goes off. Isak comes in, forcing Ekitike to move over to the right. So Bosley coming into right back now. And we started to see some good attacking flow actually in the second half, didn't we? After a pretty dire first half, in my opinion. Even after the red card, a very hesitant first half. It was almost like they realised, yeah, we're a man up. We should really be manning up and pressing our opponents here. They started to do that a little bit, forced Romero into a bad mistake with a loose pass in his own half, just outside his own box, which allows Ekitike to jump on it, lay it off to Wirtz. Wirtz finds a lovely short through ball. Isak shows his killer instinct in front of goal, puts it away, but ends up hurting his knee or twisting his ankle, something on that lower half of his left leg. He's holding it for dear life. This wasn't too long after some studs had been raked across his knee in an earlier challenge. So maybe he'd been a bit weakened from that, really shaking his head. Looks like it could be a bad injury. Could be one way he's out for the rest of the season. Hopefully not. And so with just 8 minutes of game time, 1 goal, Isak is off. Ekitike moves centrally again. And Frimpong takes up that right wing. I guess with Frimpong and Szoboszlai able to interchange, and Frimpong delivers a nice lobbed, very high lobbed cross with his left foot, which Ekitike pounces on. And I'm loving watching Ekitike play because he feels like a Klopp player. You're going to hear me talk about Klopp a fair bit in this video, but Ekitike feels like a Klopp player in that he's hungry, determined, rushing up on people, got pace, direct, wants to take a shot at every opportunity. He would have done brilliantly with Mane and Salah, prime Salah, either side of him, right? And then this is where it goes all wrong, because a Klopp team 2-0 up against 9 men would have been looking to get 4, 5, 6 goals. Instead, we saw that as an invitation to stop playing. We saw that as an invitation to just sit back entirely and say, all right, Tottenham, your turn now. And say, we're going to kind of do our own version of a low block, which is not really a low block anyway. It doesn't quite work with Liverpool. It's not drilled into them. So they left lots of gaps open anyway. But by not pressing forward, by not playing a more attacking style of football when you're one man up, it just made us incredibly passive. And we've seen ourselves being passive too much this season. As I said before, it's not game management, it's anxiety. What is that? Paralysis through analysis. It's almost like we overanalyze everything. We overcomplicate it. We think, oh, what if we're risk management? If we do this, we're going to leave this open. We're not going to. And then we had the entrance of Richarlison, Tottenham's fiery pitbull. And, as much as I don't like what he did to Liverpool today, scoring a goal, antagonizing our players, putting the fear into our defense, must be said, I do like his approach to football. He's very combative, very antagonizing, very much a fighter on the field. So our mentality monsters from Klopp era are very quickly turning into mentality mice, where Richarlison can get into people's faces and they walk away. And where was the response to Richarlison's goal? Where was the chest beating? Where was the shouting? Where was the riling each other up? Where's the passion, man? There is no passion in this team anymore. Liverpool used to embrace the fight. It was almost like, we go 2-0 down, that's just a chance for us to absolutely make an epic comeback. You score a goal, that's an offence. We have to now score 2 or 3 to put you back in your place. Liverpool used to be alpha mentality monsters. Now they avoid the fight. And you could say, yes, lots and lots of possession. I don't care about possession. Possession is useless if you're not turning that into goals and suffocating your opponent and keeping them pinned into their own box. And I know Slot says a lot of that is actually happening, right? We're facing low blocks and the teams aren't suffocated. They're just camping, ready to spring attacks when gaps open up. That's all they're doing. They don't feel suffocated against us. And then Romero gets himself sent off for a stupid little kick out against Canate. He absolutely let down Tottenham. He did us a massive favour. But what happened? We're 2-1 up against a team with 9 men. And they look terrified. There was one moment where Curtis Jones gets the ball from Wirtz, and they're the only 2 players above the halfway line. Then Curtis Jones looking around. Wirtz is now covered. He's got no one to pass it to. The ball gets taken off him very easy because he holds on to it for too long. He's like, look, what do I do with this? I don't know. There's no one here. The ball gets taken off him and Tottenham gets to spring another attack. And if Tottenham weren't so disjointed, they went down to 9 men, but they also weren't so disjointed, so lacking in identity and proper attacking patterns, I think we could have been brought back to a 2-2 or even beaten 3-2. I think Liverpool were lucky to get that win, considering how passive, scared, anxious they were against a team with 9 men. Right, so yes, we've won 3 in a row. I'm still not fully buying it. I'm not buying we're back. And what I alluded to at the beginning of the video, I just want to wrap up with this thought here. The team is developing into a Slot team with his personality. And that is not a good thing for me as a fan. Because what is Slot's personality? It's very, very analytical, very data-driven. It's very risk management. It's very possession-based. I've been a Liverpool fan my whole life, since I was a child. My favourite era has been Klopp and the full throttle, heavy metal football he brought into the club. And the first couple of years weren't great. We finished 8th one year, I think it was. There were some bad losses that you say, God, if we weren't so reckless, we wouldn't have lost those games. Fine. But at least I enjoyed the matches. I'm not enjoying these matches and I'm not enjoying the direction we're going in. And at least if we were winning every single match comfortably, but we're not dominating matches, even though we are dominating possession. I hope that makes sense. Even though we have a lot of the ball, we're just not doing enough with it. And we're not making the opponent terrified. of committing mistakes because we're not capitalizing enough on them. I want passion. Let's bring passion back into our football club, please. I think Slot would love football to be chess. I like it to be war. I like it to be war. And Klopp liked it to be war too. Klopp's teams would run through walls to get the wins. Slot's team, they're calculating angles. They're looking at the density of the brick, judging the risk. They're doing health and safety assessments on the wall. And then they're saying, you know what? We'll just step back a little bit. Just barge through that damn wall, will you? And so why is this bothering me so much? It's because I don't believe that this kind of identity for a Liverpool Football Club is, one, what the fans want in general, but two, something that will help us win the big titles going forward. Mentality-wise, it's not an insult, it's a warning. Better teams will punish us if we remain this passive, this slow, this anxious, this overthinking and overanalyzing. We've just about beat 9 men and we still look terrified. This tells you everything about what is wrong with this current Liverpool team, and I'm not convinced that we are actually doing anything to improve it. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.